Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful trading day today. I know I did. With the market popping up today, it was actually pretty nice to see the SPY come in with some green here. And looking at the heat map across the board, a lot of stocks were up. Netflix was up 9.53%. Berkshire was up. JP Morgan, LLY. Unfortunately, early on in the day, Apple was actually down, and at first it actually looked like the market was going to start falling down with Apple, but it was very nice to see the rest of the market start to recover, and Apple actually almost came back green after initially being down like 3% at one point. So they definitely had a pretty big tumble that we will go over later in today's video. But getting back into the SPY here, very interesting day with it going green. We had a nice double bottom in pre-market this morning, right around the low of yesterday, around 361. A lot of people have been saying that maybe 360 to 362 will hold up as a pretty big support, and right now it definitely looks like that it has. And guys, I will say the one important issue that I saw today, or not issue, but I should say it's actually a really good thing, is that the 10-year yield actually started falling down. It's actually the most that it dropped since 2020 after touching 4%. So let's actually go look at this. It'll actually be US 10Y. If you're on trading view here, you can see how much it actually fell down today, and that's actually a big drop down to 3.725% from 4%. If we go look on that daily chart, you can really see how big that red candle was. It is kind of comparable to a few months ago when it started falling down, but who knows, maybe we will start to see a downtrend with some of these yields, and if that does happen, we might also see the dollar start to fall. DXY is extremely high. It's starting to pull back as well and move a little bit lower, so we might see a temporary uptrend out of the S&P 500. It looks like there's a bit of a double bottom going on around 360 to 362 like I talked about. You can actually see how that lines up perfectly from June 17th, which ended up being a really big low. But if you guys are enjoying the video so far, smash that subscribe button, and we go live every single morning on the StockedUp Live on the live streaming channel. So check that out. It's called StockedUp Live. It's not the same channel as the YouTube video. So if you guys are interested in that, I go live every single morning at market open. That'll really help us out there. And also, don't forget to comment below your favorite stock from today. There was a lot of big runners like Netflix and a lot of big stocks across the board moving up, but Netflix was up 9.29%, and they're actually approaching a recent resistance up here right around 250, 250. That is a huge level. I'm going to draw it up here on the chart so you guys can kind of see it a little bit better there. That is going to be a big break if we can get up above that this week. But getting into what happened today with Apple, guys, there was actually some pretty bad news with Apple this morning. So they're actually going to be ditching some of their production increases after demand falters. So here's the main thing right here. They said that they're backing off plans to increase production of new iPhones. So keep in mind, they're not cutting their current production. They are backing off planned increases. So while it is bad, it's not quite as bad as if they just cut production straight up. But apparently they asked to increase assembly of the iPhone 14 product by as many as 6 million units in the second half of this year. Now, they said they will aim to produce 90 million handsets for the period. So it does look like they were going to try to do 6 million units more, but they obviously now have to kind of cut that back a little bit. So let's see what happens. Maybe they can still get up to the 90 million handsets for the period. It does suck to see, though, that they are expecting a little bit of a pullback in that demand. Now, one other interesting thing about this article is that they said that Apple actually said that the iPhone 14 Pros and Pro Maxes are actually having more demand than the lower priced iPhone, which is interesting. So it seems like the premium buyers are still buying up the premium iPhones at the same rates, while the lower priced iPhones are not getting bought quite as much at this time, which would maybe make sense, you know, on an economic base. But either way, this was a big news for Apple this morning, and looking at their stock intraday on that 5-minute chart, right here, it actually looks pretty nice, right? But it is red 1.2% because of that big initial gap to the downside. Initially, it was like 2.5% or something like that right at open, so pretty big drop. But yeah, nonetheless, though, it did end up recovering up with the rest of the market today, which I actually thought was quite good to see that the market kind of popped back up here. It's definitely a stark contrast from what we've been seeing over the past few days. But I have a question for you guys, and I would like you to throw it in the comments down below. Do you guys think that this is the bottom on the SPY or not? You know, I went back earlier and I looked at that big double bottom. Even over the past couple days, we're double bottoming at 361. And also back on June 17th, we had that big bounce at 360 to 361. So, you know, it seems like SPY's holding up here. Maybe we'll start to see that little bit of a recovery back up. But looking at some of the bigger runners from today and getting into some of the other news with Powell, I will say that there was some pretty big moves today out of the bank sector. Once again, JP Morgan started popping up, which I thought was interesting. And I will say Powell did speak today. He had some welcoming remarks at the Community Banking Research Conference. So it honestly was really nothing, guys. It was only a 2-minute and 27-second little intro here. Nothing too crazy. You guys can go check it out on the Federal Reserve YouTube channel if you would like to watch it. Honestly, it really wasn't anything. I don't think that you need to worry about it. And one last thing before the momentum plays is obviously today is still a bit of a different style of video. Mike is obviously hunkering down right now as Hurricane Ian is making landfall in Florida. This is actually very unfortunate. It's bringing a lot of destruction to Florida. I've seen a lot of scary videos on YouTube of power lines coming down and stuff like that. It is pretty rough. I think it's still a Category 4 hurricane right now, and you can see it here on the radar. I actually have it kind of going up into the future here, and it just shows it continuing to go up into Florida. And like, look at this. It's pretty much covering the whole state. So yeah, rough for Florida, guys. I'm praying for everybody down there. It's a very scary time. Even not necessarily in Florida, just anybody affected by this, I'm praying for you. And I hope that this doesn't end up hurting anything as far as, as far as maybe like shipping delays and stuff like that. I hope that you guys can get back up and going down there as soon as possible. But yeah, I'm praying for everybody. Be safe. Obviously, take the safer route. Don't try to risk anything. Mother Nature can definitely run its course. I've seen lots of crazy stuff out there. So just be careful, guys. It's a pretty scary thing. I know yesterday I talked a little bit about some stocks that might be affected. Just watch some of the oil sector. Maybe, we might start to see some good articles come out about some stocks as well. So be ready for that. I also saw some stuff that maybe like Lowe's and Home Depot might be some decent stocks to look at whenever hurricanes come in, because people are trying to like repair their houses and stuff like that. So looking though at the earnings for the rest of the week, there is a couple big ones. We have Micron and Nike tomorrow after close, and Bed Bath & Beyond before open. So, it's a couple big stocks there, nothing too crazy, but we're definitely nearing the end of the earnings season. Then we have Carnival Cruise Lines reporting on Friday. But getting into those momentum plays from today, some of the big stocks running was Tesla, I should say. And they're actually running up right into resistance at 289 and 290. So if Tesla can break out above 290 tomorrow, I will go ahead and look at that for a nice day trade to the upside. They had a ton of momentum, and I think that could be one of the better plays possibly tomorrow. I'm drawing that nice up arrow there and a nice smiley face. Hopefully you guys like that for good old Tessie. It's been a while since we've seen them rise up. And the other momentum play today is going to be Netflix to the upside as well. If they break out above 248, I would watch them to the upside. That's a pretty decent resistance there. And they did have a big day today, 9.29%. Sometimes you have to be a little careful. Stocks like to pull back sometimes after these big days. But if it does keep going, I expect a pretty good breakout there right around 248, then 250. So definitely watch Netflix for tomorrow. And then we have Meta as our final momentum play here. Meta did very well today after dying off over the past few weeks. That daily chart on Meta is actually terrible when you look at it. I mean, that's one of the worst charts this year, actually. A lot more stocks have been holding up. Meta just keeps falling, but go ahead and make them break out above 142 tomorrow. That is a very solid upper resistance. If they break 142, I would watch for a nice run up to 144. That's a pretty nice target up there at the top. So we're watching Meta, Netflix, and Tesla for possible day trades to the upside tomorrow if they break above the levels that I listed. That's very strange to say considering, Mike's usually here. I feel bad, guys. I miss Mike. I wish he'd be back with us, and he will be back in a few days. So don't go anywhere, and also show some love in the comments. That'll really help boost some of the videos here. But getting into our member of the day, thank you, Chicken Wim, for being awesome and active in the Discord today. You're talking about a lot of stocks today, so thank you so much for being active in there. And if you guys are interested in trading stocks or anything like that, check out the link in the comment section down below. There'll be a link to our Discord. You can go ahead and chat with Mike, myself, Hunter, and a lot of other people in there who day trade and talk about stocks all day long. So if you're interested, go ahead and join up. It's an amazing community, and we also do have a lot of plays that flow through there as well. So getting into the economic calendar today, it actually looks pretty good for the rest of the week. We do have some GDP numbers coming up for tomorrow, which could be pretty important. And then Friday, we have the unemployment rate and a lot of the inflation data coming out for the EU. So be ready for that. That's going to be pretty important on Friday morning at 5 a.m. Eastern time before the market opens. So possibly be ready for that. That could actually cause a lot of volatility if they report some crazy numbers. And then we have personal spending and personal income numbers month over month for August in the United States. I think that'll end up being pretty nice as well. And then as a little bit of a bonus today, guys, I did just want to throw in this little article here where Ford's CEO talked about a potential recession coming up as supply chain issues and stuff like that just keep weighing on production. Obviously, it's been hurting Ford especially hard, but he kind of feels like it could end up trickling into other parts of the economy. This is kind of like a private article here, but nonetheless, I figured I would talk about it. I found it extremely interesting, and I've seen so many people warning of recessions lately, even some of the bigger banks. So just be extremely careful out there, guys. It's a very scary time, but I will say the heat map was good today, and the SPY is moving well so far off of that double bottom. What I will say, though, if we do end up falling back down and breaking below here, I will end up being very, very worried for the market. But thank you guys so much for watching today. Like I said, Mike will be back over the next few days. If you're enjoying the videos, smash that subscribe button, hit the like, and don't forget to comment your favorite stock from today down below. There was a lot. My favorite stock was actually DraftKings. I know a lot of people are probably going to say Netflix because it was up 9%, but I thought it was cool to see DraftKings getting up to 16, and as you guys know, it's one of my favorites. But have a great night. I'm praying for everybody in Florida, and let's end the week strong here over the next couple days.